What do we all share in common? One kind and one kind alike. We all are part of the human race. Fly Guy Trucker Boy. I'm just me. YouTube. I know it's been a minute. On my way to go get my hustle on. Or as many would say, on my way to work. Mr. Fly Guy. Listen here. I was brought up during a time where rap music was hip hop. Communities were communities. Rock and roll was rock and roll. Heavy metal was heavy metal. You know, R&B was R&B. Pop was pop. Soul was soul. Oldies were oldies. And so on. Grew up during a time where people were skateboarding. Tony Hawk. Steve Caballero. A time where NBA championships were off the chain. Magic Johnson, AC Green, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Byron Scott, you know? Just to name a few. Etc., etc. I grew up during a time where the N-word was common amongst some white folks. They would use it towards people of color. Some people were serious about it, and some people were just playing games. And what I mean by that is they just went along with what they heard and what they were taught from either siblings or their parents or some related people of their family, relatives. They didn't know any better. They just acted in a certain fashion and spoke a certain way until stuff got greasy, and then they met their match, maybe a fight or something transpired, and they realized, whoa, this shit is real, you know? You know, and some colored folks, some black people probably encountered some stuff with some white folks and realized, hey, this stuff is real, you know? I grew up during the time where what they call essays were cholos, cholas, cholitas, cholos, you know? A lot of Hispanics, a lot of Mexicans didn't like black folks. Black folks didn't like Mexicans, so on and so forth. But it was a time where tension was high in a lot of areas amongst different people because of race. We have come to a time where things have changed gradually, and it's not so much tension and racial bullshit going on, but it still exists. Definitely still exists. Some of it is masked, M-A-S-K-E-D, masked. And the rest of it is just tucked away somewhere. You may have a couple of occasions where it's just out blatantly. But other than that, it's not so much as it used to be. I see the world as one big melting pot. And I'm pretty sure that there are others that do as well. I wish everybody could, but hey, that would mean we were living in a perfect world, right? And we don't. So it is what it is. That's what how the saying goes. It is what it is. But I wanted to address this young man that got stopped by law enforcement, by the police in Florida, by the sheriffs. He was pulled over initially. They said he didn't have his lights on. He was pulled over. They said he didn't have his seatbelt on. Routine traffic stop. But he was unaware of why he was pulled over. You know, it's daytime. It's not raining. No adverse weather. And this young man is getting pulled over. You know, he's in his 20s, early. But young black man, of course. Looks like he's properly spoken. Not giving the officers any issues or nothing like that. But he wants to know why he's being pulled over. He didn't do anything wrong. The police insist on not giving him an adequate reason in which he was pulled over, because the bullshit that they told him wasn't true. So they commenced to letting him know that if he didn't get out the car, he would be violated. The window would be punched in, and they would handle him as such. They're talking to him, they're yelling at him, tell him to get out the car. He won't do it. He got his hands up. He's complying with everything. He just wants to know why. Why are you messing with me? They punched the window in, they hit him in the face. I don't know if this is a racial thing. It might be, because you had some officers, and I'm judging. One officer looked like he may have been profiling. He just fits the type. Maybe not, though. You know, I don't want to be the same person in which they are and stereotype them. You did have a black officer there that looked like another officer, might have been mixed or something like that, so on and so forth. It's like Neapolitan, people, the ice cream. It was a group of individuals, group of officers, and it wasn't just white boys, so we can't just say it was a white agenda. But it was some type of agenda with one leading the pack, in which he was white and the other officers followed, and one of them was black. So I think it was a mixture between being white and profiling a young black man, and then just some unruly officers, police brutality. So I think it was a mixture of racially profiling the young man and the police just being some crooked officers, you know? However the case may be, these police need to get it together, and they need to stop this. Because at the end of the day, that could be my little brother, that could be my brother, period. That could be your little brother, that could be my son, it could be some of you guys' sons, nephews, little cousin, anything. Come to find out, the dude was a young college student. But the moral of the story is that could be any one of our kids, relatives, innocent, getting treated like shit. And it's crazy because these officers probably have kids of their own, and they treating somebody else's kid like that. So just imagine if it was their kid out on the street and an officer pulled up in their town and pulled their kid over and treated them the exact same way. They couldn't fathom it. But see, these officers don't think about it. They don't put the shoe on the other foot and say, hey, this could be my relative, my little cousin, my little brother, my child. They don't see it like that. Out of hand, out of line. Hey, race and racial profiling still exists. Police brutality still exists. The world is not perfect, as I said prior. So it's not going to stop. It might be tamed a little bit, but other than that, it's not going to stop. We just got to take preventative measures. We got to teach our kids how to perform, how to act when they get pulled over, not be unruly, and respond in a fashion to where it doesn't escalate the police, provoke the police, which you shouldn't have to be a certain type of way in order to not provoke the police. They should do their job efficiently, correctly, and you should be able to do you and behave correctly as a citizen. You know, they do their job. If they have a probable reason to pull you over, they pull you over. They ask you whatever they ask you. You respond politely, and you give them your information, and that's it. You either get a ticket or you don't. They pull you over because they profiled you and they trying to subject you to some bullshit. You still got to act a certain way so they don't unalive you, people. So you can see another day. Make it up out of a situation. You dig? Real talk. But it could be anybody. It could be anybody's kid. A white person's kid, black person's kid, an Indian person's kid, Chinese person's kid, Mexican person's kid, Colombian's kid, Puerto Rican kid, anybody's kid, period. My kid, your kid, their kid, those kids. That's a young man. At the end of the day, that's somebody's kid. We got to be aware. And we got to teach it to our kids, our friends, our family, our relatives. We got to teach them how to be aware, how to conduct themselves, what to watch out for. And make sure you keep your stuff up to par, your insurance, your registration, your driver license, all this stuff. Keep your tags on your car and drive in a manner to where you're not sticking out like a sore thumb. Fly Guy Trucker Boy TV. Dig that.